beautiful 88-degree day in Miami. A capacity crowd, 74,000 turning out for the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. For Dan Marino and his Dolphins, it has been an impressive start with wins over New England and Arizona. While for Neil O'Donnell and his Jets, a far different story. They have managed to score only 13 points the first two games in losses to Denver and Indianapolis. And that is the setting coming into today's game. We welcome you. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with the one-time head coach at Cincinnati and Tampa Bay, Sam Weiss. And Sam, we spent some time after practice on Friday with Jimmy Johnson, and he says, hey, we're not impressed with this 2-0 start. In fact, he is more concerned about cautioning his players.
Well, he gathered them together on Friday after practice, and he said, look, success is hard to handle, but if you handle it, you'll be a better football team each week. He reminded them they worked hard, but jackasses also work hard. They just don't win races. Thoroughbreds do, and there's a lot of hard work ahead.
All right, and for the Jets, it has obviously been a lackluster start, and their head coach, Rich Kotite, telling us last night, here's the quote, I don't want to get this wrong. He said, we have met the enemy, and the enemy was us.
Well, he's right. He really gets no argument from us up here. The enemy is within, and the objective now, of course, is to identify the problem and correct it. But the facts are that in week 1, they had 9 sacks, 7 in the first half, and in week 2, 15 penalties, 8 of them on special teams, and 6 of them in the fourth quarter when they were still in that ball game, and 6 turnovers in 2 weeks. Those are the problems. If you don't correct it, you just don't win in the National Football League.
Well, for what it's worth, the Jets have won 6 of the past 10 meetings against the Dolphins over the last 5 years. Back with the opening kickoff in a moment. Well, this is how bad it's gone for the Jets this season. They have lost the toss once again. Miami won the toss. They will receive. The Jets are now 0-3 in the coin toss. And the kickoff from Silvestri taken by Spikes. Irving Spikes out across the 25-yard line. 26-yard return. And let's check out the Miami offense. Dan Marino celebrating his 35th birthday today with Richmond Webb and Keith Sims on the left side. A couple of Pro Bowlers, Tim Ruddy, the center, Chris Gray, the former Jet James Brown at right tackle. The 2 rookies in the backfield, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of UCLA, Stanley Pritchett from South Carolina. The receivers, Lamar Thomas, O.J. McDuffie, and the tight end Keith Byers, who has made the switch on a permanent basis from the fullback slot. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. And Marino goes deep. Jarris McPhail, who is a burner, helping Dan Marino get off to a very fine birthday start. The strong safety, Victor Green, with the stop. It's a 52-yard pass play.
Marv, they had it. Jarris McPhail in on 1st down on that play. He's normally the 3rd down back, singled up with a safety. Victor Green, a perfect throw, but McPhail is usually in the backfield. That time he was like a wide receiver. They open it up with a bomb. Strike from Marino.
Well, this after all the discussion regarding the fact that Jimmy Johnson has been setting things up more with the run. Dan Marino has certainly bought into it. It makes him more effective. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stopped by Hugh Douglas. A look at the Jet defensive alignment. Up front, Mike Chalensky for the injured Marvin Washington with his former Pitt teammate Mark Spindler. Matt Brock, Hugh Douglas. We'll also see Douglas shift over to the left side quite a bit. Cascadden playing for the injured Bobby Houston. A rookie at the right corner slot, Ray Mickens. Glenn at the other corner, Green and Jones are the deep men. 2nd down and 10 at the Jet 20. And Marino with a bullet. Incomplete. Keith Byers off the double coverage. Had it knocked free. Victor Green able to get a piece of it.
Keith Byers has played fullback and played tight end. On this play, as he comes out, it's just a short little quick pass out there, very close to being a completion, because if he has possession and both feet on the ground, it's a possession and then a fumble, but the referee ruled he never had control of that ball.
Dan Marino was telling us the other day, the last week, when he stepped onto the field at Sun Devil Stadium in Arizona. He mentioned to the rookie Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the last time he had played there was 1979 for the Fiesta Bowl, and Kareem said he was 4 years old at the time, which certainly made Dan feel good.
He looked at us with that kind of that knowing look. Been here so long, it's starting to come up and get me now.
Timeout is taken. We'll be back in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who remind you fresh beer tastes better. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Back in Miami, the Dolphins taking the timeout, and we resume with a 3rd and 10 down at the Jet 20-yard line. We're just underway with a minute and a half gone by. Marino with the time. Lamar Thomas not able to hold on. Lamar Thomas, who spent 3 years as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a guy you had, and a guy who certainly had his ups and downs.
He did have his ups and downs with me, but this guy now has reformed himself. He understands exactly what his role is here, and he also, I think, is playing for... Does Jimmy Johnson get involved in the ball game? He's playing for a guy that has trusted him with the starting role, and he did not have that before with me or anybody else. He came out of Miami a big star, and it just kind of waited on him in the pros.
38-yard attempt for Joe Nedney, who missed 2 last week and misses right here. Well, Jimmy Johnson released Peter Stoyanovich for the first-year player out of San Jose State, Joe Nedney, and Nedney having problems. A moment ago, Joe Nedney missed a 38-yard field goal. He is now 2 of 5 for the season.
Kicked that one, Marv, out of the diamond there. This is still baseball, football field right now. Can make a difference in the footing on the placement.
But has to hit.
It's got to hit. That's close enough to hit.
He's missed his last 3. Now the Jets to the offense for the first time, and Adrian Morrell is cut off by Zach Thomas, the rookie who has been sensational. Zach Thomas out of Texas Tech, combining with Lewis Oliver. Here's another look at Nedney, who was a walk-on at San Jose State, where he made only 56% of his field goal. He sometimes, as Jimmy has described, has a cockeyed kicking style, and you can see the reaction from Jimmy Johnson.
And that cockeyed look from Jimmy right there might be just wondering if Pete Stoyanovich would have made that kick. Pete Stoyanovich beaten out during training camp by Joe Nedney.
All right, Keyshawn Johnson making his first NFL start is to the left, but again to the crowd. Morrell is bottled up, a short pickup. Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator, telling us last night that the Jets will try to establish the run. Jumbo Elliott and David Williams in the lineup for the first time together since they were acquired. Morrell and Anderson are the running backs. Johnson in his first NFL start. Graham and Brady are the other receivers. 3rd down and 6. And O'Donnell under pressure, and he is sacked for the 12th time this season. Overall, the Jets have been sacked 13 times. Daniel Stubbs with his 2nd sack of the season.
This was not just the tackles. The left side of the line, Roger Duffy is getting a lot of pressure, pushing back into the quarterback. Nobody really gets beat right here. They just keep giving ground into the quarterback. He was in the shotgun and didn't retreat from there, so he was in effect about a 7-yard deep drop. No time.
Brian Hansen with the punt to O.J. McDuffie, and he very casually called for the fair catch. A 52-yard punt by Hansen. Miami with the ball back. Get Hugh Douglas coming off a sensational rookie season. Rich Kotite telling us a little twist being served up as he is lining up on the left side against the former Jet, James Brown. But you wonder what does that do to the other side of the line as the Miami Dolphins take over on 1st and 10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar taking a pop from the free safety Gary Jones.
Well, I think the thinking was that the other side of the line would just have to take care of itself. They wanted to get a mismatch, but right here, that side of the line was taken care of until,
whoa,
the safety comes in. That was Gary Jones, came in and right under the pads of Abdul-Jabbar.
2nd down and 6. And Abdul-Jabbar with a short pickup. Jimmy Johnson telling us the other day that the Dolphins also would like to establish the run. Of course, most coaches will tell you that, and then they go right out and throw a 50-plus yard pass to the rookie Jarris McPhail on the very first play.
I think everybody uses that phrase because it's been used so long. They have to use it again. What you do when you got a new guy, though, on the defensive line, run right at it, find out if he really is comfortable there.
A 3rd and 2 from the 33. That's McDuffie in motion. And Marino able to complete to the 3rd down specialist, O.J. McDuffie. Gary Jones ran him out, and McDuffie goes for 24 yards.
Gary Jones actually picks his own man right here. This is not a pick play. He comes to the inside with coverage. The ball is thrown to the outside to O.J. McDuffie, who just runs a little flat pattern and picks up the big yardage. You know, 50% of passing yardage occurs after the catch. It's really the run after the catch. Only about 50% is while the ball is in flight.
And he is a master at that. It is a 1st down at the 42-yard line, and up the middle goes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, met by Mo Lewis. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel back at our New York studio. Greg?
All right, Marvin, we'll take you to Houston, where the Oilers have drawn first blood. Chris Chandler, 3-yard touchdown pass to his tight end, Frank Wycheck, with the extra point. The Oilers on top of the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 7-0, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. Baltimore tried to turn it after the loss last week in Pittsburgh. 2nd down and 7 at the Jet 39. No score with 5 minutes gone by in the 1st quarter. And Abdul-Jabbar's brought down by Hugh Douglas.
It pays off right there, Mark. Quickness versus James Brown. Richie Kotite told us yesterday that in watching them practice, remember they went against each other in practice a year ago, in watching that he didn't think James Brown would be quick enough to handle Hugh Douglas's quickness against the run right there. And I said they'd run right at him to find out. They found out right quick that he can get in the backfield.
It sets it back to a 3rd down and 10 at the 42. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar off to a slow start. He had the excellent debut against New England 2 weeks ago. He fumbled twice last week against the Cardinals. Penalty marker is thrown, and Marino almost picked off. Victor Green breaking it up, covering O.J. McDuffie.
It's going to be 5 yards against the Jets on the hard count. There's a difference between a hard count and what's called a head bob. And I think we're going to hear Gary Lane tell us that was just offsides.
Offsides.
Very nice.
Defense. Number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Mark Spindler, the left defensive tackle, called for the offside. The Jets quite familiar with penalty calls. Although, Sam, we have gone nearly halfway through the 1st quarter, and the special teams of the Jets has not yet been hit.
Progress, Mark.
Yes.
That's progress.
Last week, a franchise record 15 penalties assessed against the Jets. It's a 3rd down and 5. And Marino able to rifle it, but it's through the hands of Scott Miller, covered by Otis Smith.
Gary Jones lined up to the offensive left side, coming up on the defensive right, and blitzed. One too many rushers for the blockers, so the ball had to be thrown quick. And when the ball's thrown quick, if it's not dead in the arms, it's not going to be complete. Watch, coming off the left side right here. There's the blitz. No more time to measure the throw or to see a receiver come out of the break, and as a result, it's incomplete.
And as a result, John Kidd is back to punt for the first time. Wayne Corbett, second-year man from Hofstra, letting it fly into the end zone. A 37-yard punt, but they'll bring it out to the 20. The Jets and the Dolphins are scoreless. 8:35 remaining. First quarter here in Miami. Well, the Jets will start out from their 20-yard line. To this point, -5 yards for the Jets offensively. The Jets coming in have scored the second fewest total points in the NFL. 13 only. Tampa Bay is worse. The completion to Keyshawn Johnson, and he is pushed back by Terrell Buckley. Check of the Miami defensive unit. Up front, Armstrong, Entman, Bowens, and Stubbs. Will also see much of the rookie from Baylor, Darrell Gartner, at left defensive tackle. Zach Thomas has been outstanding. Leads the Dolphins in tackles by a considerable margin. Terrell Buckley off to a fast start. 3 interceptions the first 2 games. Second down and 7. The Jets from the 23-yard line. And it's back to the ground. A hole opening for Adrian Morrell. And he is short of a first down. Again, let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, let's take you to Lambeau Field, show you how the Packers get a leg up on San Diego. Edgar Bennett from 10 yards out dives into the end zone and then makes way for the seats. Extra point, 7-0. Green Bay leading the Chargers in Lambeau Field, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. And on the spot, the Jets do get the first down. So first down from the 30-yard line. 7:20 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert, Sam Weish from Miami. We have no score. Neil O'Donnell with the handoff to Adrian Morrell. Well, we've seen Keyshawn Johnson come up with a catch a moment ago. He's only for 3 yards. Keyshawn receiving much criticism for his overzealous celebration following his first NFL touchdown last week against the Colts. Here it is. I get the idea, though, in talking with Keyshawn yesterday, that he will pull it back. But, Sam, I think what has hurt Keyshawn in the New York area, the perception through radio and television interviews that there is a cockiness or a swagger, as you see Morrell collared by Bowens. And all this is taking place before anything has been accomplished. Now, under normal conditions, the swagger is not necessarily appreciated by all. It can certainly show up opponents. But when you haven't done anything, it comes off like blowing smoke.
Well, I think that's the point. And Rich Kotite even said he'd like to see a little swagger, a little something in the thing. You know what I always tell my players? Go find a teammate. Celebrate with one of your teammates. You didn't score that touchdown by yourself. 10 other guys did a good job. Go celebrate with them. My personal opinion, that first one, rookie's first touchdown, was a spontaneous explosion. Let's see what he does the next time.
Timeout has been taken by the Jets with a 3rd down and 5 coming up at the 35-yard line, and Neil O'Donnell shaking his head as he talks with the offensive coordinator, Ron Earhart. Well, NBC's biggest night of television premieres this Thursday. It is the season premiere of Friends, The Single Guy, Seinfeld, and the series premiere of Brooke Shields' new comedy, Suddenly Susan. Must-see TV, NBC, on Thursday. Sam, getting back to the point regarding Rich Kotite, saying that he likes to see a little swagger, but I really think he's just protecting his star player. You know, Rich, as a tight end of the NFL, was a very low-key, blue-collar type guy. I think he would have hated to see that in his playing days, and I think he's in a situation where obviously things not going well. Going back to his final season with the Eagles, his teams have now lost 22 of the last 25. I don't think he feels it's the right time to take a shot at as a star player and the #1 pick in the draft.
That's the point. He may not agree with it, but he cannot afford to take a shot at him right now.
It's a 3rd down and 5, and it's picked off. Terrell Buckley with another interception. The pass picked off by Buckley. That is his 4th of the season. So for the moment, he leads the NFL in that department. He came up with 2 last Sunday night against Arizona. Obviously, they continue to test Terrell Buckley.
As they test him, he passes the test with 4 interceptions already. The officials are having a big discussion down there around the 35-yard line. The umpire apparently either said something, threw a flag, picked it up, something happened, and they are discussing whether that play is going to stand or not. I saw Neil O'Donnell trying to enter the conversation, was shoved away, waved his hand as if doesn't do any good to talk to you guys. I'm out of here.
That pass intended for Webster Slaughter. Buckley ran it back 23 yards. Terrell Buckley, originally a first-round pick of Green Bay, and in
illegal block in the back on the return team, number 54. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, that's Zach Thomas, who was called for the illegal block.
The block takes place after the interception, so the interception is going to stand. The Miami Dolphins are going to have the ball. What Neil O'Donnell was upset about was that it probably felt like it should have been more than just a shove in the back, a more flagrant foul like a personal foul for 15 yards. Don't quite see it there, but we do see the number 4, the leading interceptor in the National Football League right now, Terrell Buckley, returning his 4th for the season.
And for O'Donnell, the 3rd time that he has been picked off in this 1996 campaign. 5.5 remaining. First quarter, still no score earlier. Joe Nedney, first-year kicker for Miami, missed from 38 yards away. The Jets with their 7th, count them, 7th turnover of the season.
Well, that's how they have been playing the first 2, and they've got to correct that problem. Rich Kotite pointed it out yesterday to us.
All right, Marino with the pass intended for the tight end, Brett Carolan. And Miami crowd looking for an interference call on Victor Green, who was covering Carolan. Victor Green leading the Jets in total tackles with 26. Now the Dolphins with Irving Spikes and Stanley Pritchett in the backfield. Irving Spikes told us the other day he should be the featured back, not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Abdul-Jabbar got off to the slow start. 2nd and 10. Screen for Spikes. Irving Spikes running for the first down. Following the pass reception, he goes for 17 yards.
Spikes backing up his comments that he should be the starter, and I like to have all my players think they're the starter. Notice on the right side, Marino's right side, unblocked. They let one man come free because they're going to throw behind him. Lead blockers down the field and then turn on the speed and knock the last guy down.
Now, last Sunday night against Arizona, Spikes ran for a career-high 79 yards. He was activated at the last minute. He's been bothered by nagging injuries. First down at the 38. And again, Spikes with a burst. Green, Jones, and Mickens all involved on that stop. Irving Spikes sat out the first week due to a hamstring injury, allowing Abdul-Jabbar to get the call as the number 1 running back, but he has done it here in the first quarter.
This is an offensive line that's just winning the battle at the line, giving the runner that first 3 or 4 yards. Already you see the Jets starting to give a little bit. You're watching a runner right there, Marv, inside the baseball diamond. I tell you, you cannot cut. Once you get going, you've got to keep going straight ahead.
And Brett Williams and Mo Lewis able to wrap up. Irving Spikes a loss on the play.
As soon as baseball season is over, this will be resodded and they'll have a nice feel. But watch this, the sand and the dirt being kicked up every time a step is taken. When you get down here, really passing is a pretty good deal because the pass rush is limited. They can't get that purchase to push up the field and rush the passer.
Now the lone deep back is Jarris McPhail, the rookie from East Carolina. 3rd down and 6. And again, Marino with the time. McDuffie broke a tackle. McDuffie inside the 15-yard line. Once again, Mr. 3rd down, O.J. McDuffie. Aaron Glenn, Marcus Coleman were finally able to get him down.
Singled up against Otis Smith on another crossing pattern. They've been featuring this so far in this ball game, and then the missed tackle after the catch. Trying to strip him maybe from the ball or knock it loose. When you go for that one, you give up the extra yardage down the field. Already another aspect of this game, an injury to one of the New York Jet players. It's Victor Green, who has been delivering a lot of blows in this ball game to this point. Got one handed to him.
And for Marino, the third completion of 20 or more. He is overall 4 of 7, 114 yards. New philosophy for Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Dolphins, placing a higher priority on running the ball, even at the expense of Dan Marino's passing statistics. But it's very nice when you're running the ball and it's either going well or not going well. You still have plan B, and that is have Dan Marino throw it.
The strongest suit that the Miami Dolphins have had over the years has not even been tapped yet this season, and they're 2-0. You know what this does for Dan Marino, though? It extends his career. It not only gives the Dolphins a much more expanded offense to have to defend. Their opponents have to defend each week. In years past, they just came out and said, you stop Marino, you stop the Dolphins offensively. Not many people got it done. But now they've got to stop the run, and that cliche comes into play. Establish the run first before we go to our passing game.
Now, I know you never said that in your
Never have, and I never will again.
Absolutely. All right, Marcus Coleman replacing Victor Green at strong safety, and as you saw, a timeout has been called by the Jets. With 2:48 to go in this opening quarter, we have no score. When we pick it up, the Dolphins will have a 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Whenever you talk to members of the Jets and the Dolphins, the conversation seems to swing around to that perhaps Dan Marino's most memorable victory back in 1994. At the time, through week 12, Miami 7-4, Jets 6-5. They had a chance to take over first place. After 11 games, the Jets trailing the Dolphins in the game here, 24-21 late in the game. And here's the play. Marino faking the spike, yelling clock, clock, clock. And for a moment he had, at that time, rookie Aaron Glenn fooled, and he hit Mark Ingram for the touchdown. Now the Jets lost an 18-point lead in this game, lost a chance to take over first place, and have not recovered since. 3 up, 20 down since that famous fake spike. Here's Irving Spikes on the subject of spiking the ball.
A lot of spikes involved.
Yes.
We've been talking about the running game of Miami so far today. 12 yards rushing against 114 yards passing. Marino's hit a couple of big plays to influence those statistics. But even without the big numbers showing up so far, the running game is important. Has to be defended first by the Jets.
You know, that game that we talked about, as you see the difference in the ratio with Miami looking to run the ball more frequently and have a 2nd down and 7. Here's Spikes again, cutting his way inside the 5-yard line. And he is the hot man in this first quarter. Mike Cholensky playing for the injured Marvin Washington, able to make the stop on Irving Spikes.
When you've got more than one good running back, you keep them fresh and you stay with the hot guy. Spikes is the hot guy right now. Good blocking up front. Everybody taking part in this running game. The last couple of yards goes to Spikes. The first 4 or 5 goes to the offensive line blocking.
But still, they have done it with a pass. That off that opening pass to Jarvis McPhail that went 52 yards. A 3rd and 1 at the 4-yard line. Here's Spikes with the offensive line leading the charge. And he is just shy of the goal line, but picked up the 1st down. Cholensky with the stop on Spikes. It'll be a 1st and goal down at the 1-yard line. Back to that fake spike game by Marino. Some Jet players said it was a traumatic experience, but you wonder, there are so many different players from that team in '94. Is there any effect at all on this club when you look back to that game?
Mark, there should not be, but the game that play keeps being talked about, and it has to be introduced in the minds of these new young players. They have to know about it at least that way.
All right, here's Spikes, and his leap mistimed. I would have to say he began the leap a little too soon and was stopped by Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones is guessing where that ball is going to go. He's going to fill that gap, try to time the jump. Really doesn't jump with him that time, is able to reach up and grab and stop the momentum of the jump itself and pull him down. Good play by Marvin Jones. The middle linebacker is the one guy that takes a look at the first couple of steps of the running back, tries to intercept him at the hole.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. The Jets and the Dolphins are scoreless as they move to the other end of the field, and when the second quarter gets underway, the Dolphins with a...
This is the NFL on NBC.
On to the second quarter. Marv Albert, Sam Weish from Miami. 10th play of the drive coming up for the Dolphins. And Sam, this is the latest in a game this season that the Jets have not trailed.
You know, that you get the feeling that the Dolphins have been moving the ball at will and that they're winning this ball game big time. The score is 0-0. Now they're knocking on the door now, but it's still one quarter in, 0-0.
All right, second and goal down at the 1. And Spikes once again not able to get across that goal line. This time he tried the left side behind Richmond Webb and Keith Sims. It brings up a 3rd and goal at the 1. Victor Green able to make the stop. Earlier, Miami with an opportunity to get on the scoreboard, but Joe Nedney could not hit from 37 yards away. The Jets with only 13 total yards in the first quarter.
A lot of options here. Run it straight at him, see if you can out-muscle him. They've tried it right, tried it left. They've really challenged him with the run, but Marino's still in that ball game.
Spikes and Pritchett in the backfield. Again, Spikes to the outside, and he is cut off. Mo Lewis saw it coming and made the tackle. All right, it's a 4th and goal at the 1. Sam, what do you do here?
I think he's going to kick a field goal right here, but Mo Lewis making that play back behind the line of scrimmage. He actually lost yardage. Dan is standing there trying to hear what's being said. Jimmy Johnson's made the decision, has opposed me once again, is going for the 6 points. He's at home. They have moved the ball.
The ball placed back inside the 2, so it's a 4th and goal down at the 2, and now Dan Marino calls for time. Minute and a half in.
By the new Coors Light Wide Mouth can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour. By UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
Well, the Dolphins up to the line. A long discussion during the timeout. Looked like they were about to change their mind, but you wonder, has Jimmy Johnson lost some confidence in the kicker, Joe Nedney? This would be about a 19 or 20-yard attempt. 4 wideouts on the field as Marino fires. It's picked off. Aaron Glenn will go all the way. Aaron Glenn enjoying the moment. Picks off Dan Marino and goes 100 yards for the touchdown.
Marv, this is the first time this season the New York Jets have led in a football game, and they did it in dramatic fashion with Aaron Glenn's interception. A tough call to make right there before that play was snapped. Do you kick a field goal from 3 yards out after 3 tries and getting nothing with a field goal kicker that's missed 3 this year, 1 already today? Or do you rely on your trump card, the guy you really haven't played a lot this season, Dan Marino throwing the football? That one, of course, went the Jets' way.
And the pass intended for Randall Hill. And Aaron Glenn, in his 3rd year out of Texas A&M, has not come up with the interceptions. Only 1 in 2 years prior to today. A rare appearance for Nick Lowry to kick the extra point. But players and coaches around the league have great respect for the ability of Aaron Glenn. The other factor, they don't look to throw his way, so he does not see the ball that frequently.
Over the years, teams go in and they have a game plan to throw away from Aaron Glenn, not at him. Here's part of the reason why. Dan Marino rolls slightly. Actually, he drops back, but he looks to the right all the way as he throws the pattern. The pass was thrown to the outside. Glenn is coming from the outside inside, so he never really saw him coming. See, Glenn is outside. Rushing in, just intercepts the pattern. He didn't really intercept the ball first. He intercepted the pattern and then the ball in the air. Couldn't draw it back, of course. I don't like to see this, though. You hold that ball with one hand, and Jimmy Johnson doesn't like to see it either. Yeah, he's not talking about holding it with one hand. He's talking about the interception.
We talked about this earlier. All it does is get your opponents upset. But
yeah. Anytime you're not really provoking them with a taunt that way, but by doing it that way, you're saying I've already scored and you're still 30 yards out. You know, every now and then you'll see a player just flat out drop that ball.
The Jets 7 and the Dolphins nothing.
Big turn there. We just said that the Dolphins have dominated the ball game. You just had the feeling that this was going all their way. It's 7-0 though against them.
Silvestri with the kick to the combination of McPhail and Spikes, and a good one from Don Silvestri, the kickoff specialist. They'll bring it out to the 20 with 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Marv, the Houston Oilers continue to roll. This is Chris Chandler, 18 yards to Willie Davis. Watch him just take it away from Antonio Langham. All 14 of the Oiler points have come off turnovers in the second quarter. Houston leads the Ravens 14-0, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. Miami Dolphins starting out from the 20-yard line. This crowd is still stunned by the 100-yard interception return by Aaron Glenn, which is the longest interception return in the history of the New York Jets. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the ball jostled, but it appears that he did pick it up. Now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a 3rd-round draft pick, and it's considered to be a steal in the 3rd round, but you wonder why did he last that long? Well, some say because of arthroscopic surgery on both legs, and he also had some fumble problems at UCLA.
All of which goes into the mix. When you're a scout, you present that to everybody on draft day. Injuries are always a big problem because you've got big investments in these players, and it counts against the cap if they're injured.
2nd and 9. Brought down. First sack of the day by the Jets. Several Jets involved. Looked to be Mark Spindler, the left defensive tackle, who was able to get to him.
Mark Spindler spent some time with me in Tampa Bay. He's one of those hard-working, blue collars a term, but this is just a never-say-die kind of a football player. Pressure. Dan Marino's not sacked very much. He's averaging about 15 sacks a season over his career. The Jets are playing inspired ball. You know, one big play can turn a team's attitude for one afternoon, and that one afternoon can turn it maybe for the rest of the season.
Well, Marino now looking at a 3rd down and 15 out of the shotgun. Penalty flag is tossed. Marino incomplete. The pass intended for Randall Hill. They went right back at Aaron Glenn. He was involved on the coverage, but a penalty marker is down.
Here's what coaches think.
Offside. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Here's what coaches think. That's Matt Brock, who jumped off sides. Again, just a hard count, not the head bob by the quarterback. After a player makes a big play, he anticipates the throw and he jumps on that throw. Come back to him again, because once he's tasted the blood, he'll try it again, and he will. And you try to give him that little nod and go by him for the big play. Plus, it was a free play. Dan Marino knew he didn't have anything to lose on that one.
3rd and 10 out of the 20. Now Marino with the time. Incomplete. Intended for Lamar Thomas, covered by the rookie, the right corner, Ray Mickens. You heard Thomas say to the official, he's pushing off. He's pushing me.
Of course. Somebody had to be pushing, right? This was an important stop, I believe, by the New York rule. There was a little grabbing, hard to see who actually grabbed who first. An important stop by the Jets because the heat here is something they haven't experienced, and conditioning was going to be a factor in this game. With that interception, it put the defense right back on the field.
All right, John Kidd with the punt. And here is Wayne Trebek. 50-yard punt, 7-yard return. Robert Wilson leading the coverage on Trebek. They'll be right back. Jets with a 7-0 lead on Miami. 11:42 to go in the second quarter. Coming up next, the Indianapolis Colts came within a tipped Hail Mary of facing the Cowboys in Super Bowl 30. Now 8 months later, they get their chance. The Cowboys got well in a hurry last week. The defending champs still have Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders. While some of you will see Jeff Hostetler return at quarterback for the Raiders as they host the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is next right here on NBC. Well, the Jets back to the offense. The defense supplying the touchdown. Reggie Cobb now in the backfield for the Jets, who've managed only 13 total yards in this first half. The swing to Cobb, and a flag is thrown. Reggie Cobb stopped by Terrell Buckley. Reggie Cobb played for a fellow by the name of Sam Weish, as I recall, in Tampa Bay, running for 1,170 yards back in '92 with 9 touchdowns. The Bucs' leading rusher for 3 years. First, let's get the call from Gary Lane.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, number 92 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's the rookie from Baylor, Miami's #1 draft pick, Darryl Gardner. But Sam, what has been the problem with Reggie Cobb?
Reggie's actually admitted that he just didn't see the big picture, whatever that means in his mind. To me, Reggie was a player, a good football player, a good person, had a little trouble in college, did not adjust and sell out as a football player. Too many other things going on.
All right, Reggie Cobb able to pick up the first down. Stopped by Zach Thomas.
I visited training camp early in the season and watched Zach Thomas and the rest of the Dolphins work out against the Redskins. And at that time, everybody was wondering, would they be big enough? Would they be good enough? Would the rookies come through? Zach Thomas is the classic example. 10 solo tackles, 6 assists. He's having one special rookie year.
He is what Jimmy Johnson calls a playmaker. And here's Cobb with a good second effort. And he is stopped at midfield. You say too many things going on in the head of Reggie Cobb. Like what?
Well, I think a lot of ball players come into this league that way. They're looking at all the things that are around the game, the endorsements, the fantasy of the game. This is something that all of us would love to do if we're not in the ball game, and we all envision what we see out here on Sunday afternoon. There's hard work on Wednesday and Thursday at practice. There's study time every night. You've got to really dedicate yourself to the game to be good.
In effect, the work ethic was not up to what your standards were?
I wouldn't call him lazy. He wasn't that. But he just didn't understand how hard it was to be really good in this business.
Well, they ruled his knees were down, so they put it back to a 3rd and 5. And now O'Donnell able to zip it through to pick up the first down, combining with Wayne Trebek. But again, a flag is thrown. If it holds up, it's good for 12. Again, Thomas making the tackle.
Face mask, 5 yards on the defense. First down.
We talked about how much fun it was to coach a guy like Zach Thomas. It's just as much fun to coach a guy like Wayne Trebek. Here is a guy who has given up his starting role today to Keyshawn Johnson. He's there, though, on 3rd down. Anytime he can help the football team, he's ready.
He has now 7 third-down receptions among the leaders in the AFC. And this time O'Donnell goes to Keyshawn Johnson, who is stopped by Thomas and Singleton. And we'll check in again with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Lambeau Field, the NFL's leader in touchdown passes, Brett Favre, throws number 8 on the season, 19 yards to Antonio Freeman. And with the extra point in the second quarter, the Packers lead over the Chargers is now 14-3, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. Back in Miami, a 2nd and 2 at the 29-yard line for the Jets, who lead the Dolphins 7-0 on the interception and 100-yard return by Aaron Glenn. Once again, it's to the ground. Richie Anderson with a rare carry, only his 9th of the season, first of the day. Steve Entman making the stop. Dolphins going with the combination of Darryl Gardner and Steve Entman at the left defensive tackle position. There is Entman, the #1 overall draft pick back in '92, but has certainly been hit by severe injuries to both knees. It's actually amazing he's back playing. First down at the 26. And O'Donnell with the wide open Johnson. Short of the first down on his 3rd catch of the day. And again, it's Zach Thomas on the stop.
Both teams are now going back to the passing game. We talked about the running game. Look at this big picture right here. There's going to be a big hole right in the middle. This is a zone defense. The Jets are simply going down, running a pattern. You see him coming. He's just going to stop. He just gets right in there and just stops, turns his shoulders. That's the body language that a receiver gives to the quarterback. When he squares his shoulders, he throws it.
Nice circular motion on the telestrator.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And here is Reggie Cobb. Calvin Jackson, the right corner, ran him out of bounds. But a flag is down. Cobb did pick up the first down, but let's see what Gary Lane has to say. They'll bring it back. It's against the Jets.
Good drive going by the Jets, but a holding penalty can stop a lot of good things.
Holding offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Well, that's the tight end, Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady played with a separated shoulder last week. A very difficult week, coming off the critical fumble against the Indianapolis Colts.
On that play, it looked like he just wasn't ready to deliver a blow, and he kind of took a blow, was hit, fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. That could have got them in the ball game again to win, possibly last week against those Colts.
3rd penalty assessed on the Jets. Miami also with 3. 2nd and 10. Flag thrown. The screen for Anderson, and he's taken down at the 30 by Entman.
Marv, this is the matchup that you don't want when you're throwing a screen. Man-to-man coverage with a blitz. Everybody is locked on, so you're not going to get much out of it, but here come the penalties again. Remember last week, 15 penalties against these Jets. 8 of them are against the special teams. It looks like that the offense is trying to...
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 76 on the offense. Penalties decline, 3rd down.
Offense trying to even that score, unfortunately, here. In this drive, they were well in field goal position, driving for a touchdown. Now they've knocked themselves back out of field goal position. Around the 30, 32-yard line is normally where, as the line of scrimmage, is normally where you start thinking field goal. Important down right here for both sides because they could still attempt one from this point.
The Jets are the only team in the NFL yet to attempt a field goal this season. 3rd down, 14. And O'Donnell fires. Touchdown. Webster Slaughter beating Terrell Buckley, and the Jets, stunning the Dolphins, have taken a 13-0 lead.
This is Neil O'Donnell operating within a very good pass protection scheme. He had to step up in order to see this happen. Too much time went by in the minds of the defensive backs there. They kind of let up. You saw them kind of give a little bit. And here's what I like to see when a play ends, a big play, spontaneous celebration among the team. Everybody celebrates. You all had a piece of it.
You get the idea. The NFL, though, is not looking to call penalties for the excessive celebration. They're looking away.
Absolutely. They went through a stage there where they were going to call anything. Now they're letting it all go.
A point after by Nick Lowry. 14-0 Jets with 6:52 left first half.
On the touchdown, the Dolphins had double coverage. The deep half was to be covered here. Terrell Buckley, part of the way down the field, looks back. As we watch him unfold there, Buckley's running, and then he looks back. Gene Atkins, though, doesn't get to the deep half. protection held up for Neil O'Donnell, who kept his attention down the field. It's very hard for a young quarterback to do that. A veteran like Neil O'Donnell, though, never took his eye off what was happening downfield.
And again, the good kick by Silvestri, but Darius McPhail running it out of the end zone and finding some running room. Getting across the 25, he returns for 27 yards. Again, let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, things have gotten a little tighter in Houston. Baltimore's Vinny Testaverde gets time, finds Michael Jackson for an 8-yard touchdown pass, and with the extra point, the Ravens pull to within 7. It's now a 17-7 lead. Houston with a field goal, Marv.
All right, Greg, and a moment ago, a 30-yard touchdown pass by Neil O'Donnell to Webster Slaughter on a 3rd and 14. 8 plays, 63 yards. Jets had the ball, 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and now lead 14-0. Here's Marino, wide open, Stanley Pritchett. And Pritchett being chased by Cascadden. He's in for the touchdown. The rookie from South Carolina, Stanley Pritchett, going 74 yards.
The Jets were caught in man coverage. A little bit of a pick inside, and Chad Cascadden just is not going to stay man-to-man all over the field with that much time, and he's not going to catch anybody, especially Stan Pritchett from behind. Big recovery to get back in this ball game for the Miami Dolphins.
And now here's Joe Nedney for the extra point. Meanwhile, Marino is 5 of 10. The 5 completions have gone for 189 yards. Nedney able to put it through. 6:28 left in this first half. Jets 14, Dolphins 7.
Stanley Pritchett in motion on the last play. O.J. McDuffie on a slant runs right into Chad Cascadden. Could be called a pick. That one occasionally will be called that way. The official rule that it was a normal route that the receiver was running. He wasn't trying to pick. If the intention is to pick and knock a defender out of position to cover, it's a penalty against the offense.
Chad Cascadden playing for the injured Bobby Houston, left behind by Stanley Pritchett, and a good kick from Joe Nedney. And Ron Carpenter, who led the NFL in kick return average last year, has to remain in the end zone. So Dan Marino with his 59th career touchdown pass against the Jets. Buffalo 44 times, Indianapolis 43, New England 39, and now it is number 59 for Marino. 2 more and he ties Roger Maris.
And he's had big days against the Jets. The best team that he's played against, or where he's had his best days, have been against the New York Jets.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Adrian Morrell stopped in his tracks by the middle linebacker, the rookie from Texas Tech, Zach Thomas, a 5th-round draft pick. He's replaced Brian Cox. Zach Thomas was asked the other day about replacing Cox. He said he watches a lot of film on Brian Cox, and what impressed him the most was that Cox was so smart the way he played the position. Has 6 tackles today, 6 solo tackles for Zach Thomas. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the 19, and now O'Donnell did not like what he saw. Calls for time. We've had a number of early timeouts being used by the Jets and the Dolphins. Still 5.5 remaining. The Jets have used all 3 of their timeouts, in Miami with 1 remaining.
And big plays seem to create other big plays. We saw that happen with the Jets earlier in the ball game. Big play by Marino to Pritchett, and then Zach Thomas comes in and makes this play on the very next time the defense is on the field. This guy's 5'11", and they say that you've got to be stereotyped at 6'3", 6'4", to 240 pounds to play that middle linebacker. 5'11", and stands right in there and is leading the team in tackles.
And I would have to say he was the most enthusiastic recipient of an NBC hat for sitting down and talking with the production crew that we've seen in years. It was very sad, actually.
I know we both shed some tears on that one.
2nd and 11 at the 19. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. O'Donnell looking that way. And then goes sideline. He had 2 receivers side by side. He had Jeff Graham and Keyshawn Johnson. The pass intended for Graham was covered by Calvin Jackson. 3rd down and 11 at the 19-yard line.
Yesterday, talking to the coaches, and Friday, of course, talking to Jimmy Johnson, run the ball, establish the run. We're going to be running. Ball's going in the air a lot more than they predicted. Goes back, though, to what they think is working. It doesn't matter what your game plan is. When you get into the game, coaches have gut feelings as to what they think is going to work, and that's where they go.
Yeah, this crowd urging on the defensive unit. O'Donnell had a tip. That pass deflected.
And we may see if the heat is going to affect the defense of the Jets right now. Now they are right back on the football field playing in the hottest day that they played in, I guess. They haven't had a lot of hot weather up in New York. Looking all the way, timed his jump beautifully. And Shane Burton, who is another one of those rookies coming in, 4 of them starting for the Miami Dolphins.
Burton, rookie from Tennessee. A punt by Hansen. O.J. McDuffie on the return, and he got bottled up, dropped at the 45-yard line. Second punt for Hansen. First one went 52. This good for 40 and a 13-yard return. Kyle Clifton involved on the stop. Well, it is Premier Week here on NBC, and Tuesday kicks off with Mad About You. Paul and Jamie expecting? Well, we find out for sure this Tuesday on the premiere of Mad About You, followed by the first must-see TV family comedy, Something So Right, plus Frasier and Caroline. It's the premiere of must-see TV, NBC, on Tuesday. Dolphins now 1st and 10 at the Jet 45-yard line. This is becoming a typical Jet Miami game. Lots of action, start to finish. And Marino's pass caught by McDuffie, a short pickup. Marvin Jones was right there. Marvin Jones, native of Miami, said he had to gather together about 25 tickets for family and friends, and because he has been an injury-hit player over the years, this is the first time that he has been able to start a game here in Miami against the Dolphins.
I remember working him out. Drew Rosenhaus had a little workout for him when he came out of college. Had music, hors d'oeuvres for us. Turns out to be a pretty good football player.
Wait a second. Let's back up on that one. 2nd down and 7. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar nearly broke it. Shad Cascadden got a piece of him and brought it down. Now, Drew Rosenhaus is the agent for Marvin Jones.
That's right.
You're telling me he set up a workout for various coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Along with music and a little
we had
catering. Is that the idea?
Yeah, Jay and the Americans was the music.
I see. Very good.
Had the music. Usually when you get that, you're looking at a player has a couple of chinks. You know, they just tried to disguise something. Marvin Jones, starting middle linebacker for the New York Giants. Good football player.
And it's Irving Spikes.
I think it's the New York Jets out here.
Yes, it
not
is.
The New York Giants.
All right, Sam, it's been a long day.
Thinking about the lovely afternoon we had at that workout.
Ball is spotted just shy of the first down. Brent Williams able to make the stop on Irving Spikes. 3:48 to go in this first half. It's the Jets 14 and the Dolphins 7. Well, they're calling for the yardstick, so they will measure. Now this would be about a 53-yard field goal, and it is shy of a first down.
Dolphins are going to go for this. I don't think they're going to be kicking a field goal or punting. They believe they can make about 6 inches. But on the last try, if you remember, Marv, down around the goal line, they went for it on 4th down, and Aaron Glenn intercepted and ran it back for a touchdown. The fans win this one, though. As soon as it came up 4th and short, everybody said go for it.
And it It is 4th and very short, inches away from a first down. Keith Byers is flanked to the left side. Robert Wilson and Irving Spikes in the backfield. Here's Byers, now McDuffie in motion, and Spikes looked like he was stopped. The Dolphins felt he picked it up. They did pick it up.
Irving Spikes gets this really on second effort. There's not a lot of movement by the offensive line. The Jets come off the ball clean, not disguised by any snap count on this one. Contact behind the line of scrimmage. The extra drive gave him the first down, and of course Jimmy knows this is another crucial call in the ball game. You have a few of these in every ball game, and if you go right, you look like that genius that's on its way, and coming into this ball game 2-0, he looks like a genius.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Well, Abdul-Jabbar tried to adjust, covered by Victor Green, so it is a 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line. Well, for those of you surfing the web while you watch, you can follow the NFL on NBC online at nbc.com/sports. Scoring updates and game summaries throughout the football day. Marino now 6 of 13, 192 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 2nd down and 10. And movement. Markers thrown on both sides of the line. And that is Mike Chalensky pointing at Richmond Webb.
Snap. False start. Offense. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So it is Richmond Webb called on the penalty.
Richmond Webb was guilty of moving. Sometimes when you are giving that hard count, you fool your own people. There it is. Once that hand goes down and you have a 3-point stance, you cannot pick your hand up again as a down lineman.
And that is something I will.
Well, you've never been guilty of that, I can tell you.
I will try to adhere to that. Oh, a hard hit on O.J. McDuffie as he made the catch, somehow able to hold on as he was crunched by Victor Green.
O.J. McDuffie gets up and is feeling good about that catch, and he should. I don't think he even hears the footsteps, much less sees him coming. The catch, Victor Green from behind. When you see the knees buckle like that, you know that there's nothing but instincts taking over at that point. Squeeze that ball. Don't let it go. It's your baby.
3rd down and 9 at the Jet 34. And now, with 2 minutes remaining, we get the 2-minute warning. Does make sense. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Resume. And Marino airs it out. A circus catch attempted, but a flag is thrown. Lamar Thomas nearly came up with a spectacular touchdown catch, covered by the right corner, the rookie from Texas A&M, Ray Mickens, and you saw the flag. Dan Marino over.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 24. First down.
It is interference on Mickens.
Lamar Thomas inside and then back outside as his head comes back. Look, Mickens' left arm right there. You can see his left arm coming out, trying to keep both arms from going up. Lamar got his left hand up and almost made a great catch one-handed. That's interference. That's exactly how they draw it up in the penalty book.
30-yard penalty. That puts it at the 5, 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, and off the slant, a hard driving Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took it in. The rookie from UCLA with his 4th touchdown of the season. Kareem, a 3rd-round draft pick, the Dolphins' 2nd selection on the 3rd round. Running it in from just inside the 5, and now Joe Nedney will look to tie it. And he does. Jets Jets and Dolphins tied at 14 with 1:47 remaining in the first half.
The Dolphins run for the touchdown, lead block, paving the way right there. When Robert Wilson gets a block like that, it doesn't take but a little bit of space inside. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar takes it and straight ahead. Look at the shoulder lean. Both hands on the ball, no mistakes down here. Ball's going to come right off the right side with a lead blocker going to make the first hit. Everybody got a man one-on-one. Right here is the hit. Could have gone inside or outside that time, Abdul-Jabbar, but he goes to the shortest route. You know, Marv, penalties again cost the Jets, because that would have, had that ball not been caught and no penalty been called, I think the Dolphins would have had to punt. They were on about the 35-yard line. Been a 52-yard field goal, and their field goal kicker's not getting it done right now. Instead, another penalty cost them 7 points right before the half.
Well, last week, 15 penalties for the Jets for 100 yards. Today, they've been penalized for 50 yards in the first half, so they're right on track. The rookie from Nevada, Alex Van Dyke, well covered. He has excellent speed, runs it for 20 yards. Following a lackluster performance by special teams in the opening game, Dolphins came back strong against Arizona last Sunday night, and they've done a nice job here this afternoon. So both clubs have been hit for 4 penalties, but the Jets hard hit, including that 30-yarder a moment ago on the pass interference against Mickens. First down at the 24-yard line for the Jets with 1:42 left in the first half. Keyshawn Johnson flanked to the right side. Webster Slaughter to the left. Inside handoff. Richie Anderson with his second carry. Not much there. Met by Zach Thomas.
Watch Zach Thomas' eyes just prior to the snap of this ball. He knows he's in a 2-minute situation. Looking square at that ball. He's going to follow his keys through the line and follow the ball.
And the Jets in the hurry up. Again, looked like the ball was tipped, but it was followed by Wayne Corbett. Covered by the combination of Atkins and Jackson. That was tremendous concentration by Corbett. Back to the eyes of Zach Thomas, though.
He's reading through the offensive lineman. He's got certain people, if they do a certain thing, if they go to the right, he's going to go to the right and so forth. This time he read the draw, though. He could see the lineman set up to pass, a token fake. He didn't buy it. Made the tackle.
First down for the Jets at their 35. 1:14 left in the half. And again, Corbett, and a diving catch in front of Calvin Jackson. So Wayne Corbett with his third reception of the day. And the Jets continue in the hurry up. Third down 6 from the 39. Nice catch by Keyshawn Johnson right at the marker. Met by Calvin Jackson. And it is a first down for the Jets. Clock is running. The Jets do not have any timeouts remaining.
They've got to get the ball off or ground it. Just give up a down to stop the clock and get their win.
Well, inside handoff once again.
Don't understand that one, Marv. There's not enough time with no timeouts to be putting the ball on the ground. Got to go up and ground the ball. Second down, give it up.
And that's what he does right here. So the clock is stopped with 16 seconds left, but a flag has been thrown. Penalty marker is down.
Ron Earhart told us yesterday that in the 2-minute situation, Neil O'Donnell will be calling all the plays. I'm sure if he could have got word in via the headset in the helmet there, he wouldn't have called that one. He also said they're having trouble again this year with the headset operation. Quarterback hearing the calls from the sideline. We had trouble from the first day they put that in. They haven't solved that one yet in the National Football League.
Well, you hooked in that contemporary music station. I know when Vinny Testaverde was
well, we had a little bit of that. You know how the reason they got a penalty right here is the spike took place. The Dolphins were running off the field.
We have multiple fouls. offsides on the defense, number 75, going off on the field. He was the 12th man on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that was the rookie from Tennessee, Shane Burton, 5th-round draft pick of the Dolphins. Here's a look. There he is.
Not only is he the 12th man, he's almost offsides. In fact, you see another man trying to run off that would have been offsides. With the no huddle that we had in Cincinnati and Tampa, if we saw teams trying to substitute, we just ground the ball or throw the pass. We catch them offsides over too many men many times.
First down at the Miami 43, 16 seconds remaining. And again, you see the movement.
That was Jumbo Elliott. He just rocked back. Now, he wasn't in a 3-point stance. He was in a 2-point stance. But he can't move. He has to stay still.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Jumbo Elliott back from a sprained groin, making his first regular season appearance for the New York Jets, bringing Daniel Stubbs offside. The Jets have to get to about the 33-yard line for at least a 50-yard field goal attempt for Nick Lowry. It's a 1st and 15 back at the 48. Time running down. O'Donnell overthrowing, trying to flip it to Anderson in the flat. Looked like he lost the handle.
I think the ball just came out of his hand. Exactly right. He may have lost his footing a little bit. The ball didn't have the grip, and it comes off that little finger. Says protection pretty good. You're pushing everybody back behind him. That's what you want. Steps up into the pocket. He got trips a little bit after the pass there. It looks like the ball just kind of came off the side of his hand. 11 seconds to go. They've got time for 2 more plays. Certainly one play to get out of bounds and another one to kick the field goal.
O'Donnell 9 of 13, 70 yards in this first half. Steps up, looking, couldn't find anyone, and decided not to go out of bounds. Instead, hauled down at the 31-yard line as time has run out.
And at that point, go down unless you're worried about stats, because the clock is going to run out. You're not going to have time for a field goal anyway. The only chance they had there was some kind of pattern thrown out of bounds. Enough yardage, of course, to get them in field goal range. Did not happen.
So they're tied at 14 at the half. Let's go. The Jets and the Dolphins are tied as we head to the second half. Tied at 14. Marv Albert, Sam Weish, and once again, Sam, a critical penalty. Are tied as we head to the second half. Tied at 14. Marv Albert, Sam Weish, and once again, Sam, a critical penalty has hurt the Jets.
Well, it was back and forth there. The whole ball game was played well. We thought at first that Miami was winning all the battles, but the score was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. But right at the end of the first half, a penalty that cost them not just a field position, the ball, but it put the Miami Dolphins in position to score right before the half and tie this thing up and have momentum.
Got the pass interference against the rookie Ray Mickens, and it eventually led to a Dolphin touchdown. A look at the Coors Light halftime statistics. Total yards 233 for the Miami Dolphins, only 124 for the New York Jets. Miami had the ball 17 minutes 36 seconds, and the Jets about 12.5 minutes. Dan Marino with a number of big plays. Marino overall 7 of 14, 198 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Neil O'Donnell 9 for 13, but just 75 yards. Threw a touchdown to Webster Slaughter, and he was picked off once. But the interception by Marino leading to the Aaron Glenn return for 100 yards, which is a Jet team record. The kickoff from Joe Nedney, and some confusion on the part of the kick returners as Alex Van Dyke, the rookie from Nevada, let it slip by as it ends up in the end zone.
Really inexcusable, Marv. One person is designed to be the quarterback. He's got to make the call. I've got it, you've got it. I don't know which one it was there because I wasn't with him all week in practice, but the man that is supposed to call the reception of the kickoff didn't do his job. Another mistake. That's as bad as a penalty right there. Could have been a big play, because had that ball not bounced all the way out of the end zone, it's a live football.
So the Jets start out at the 20-yard line. Adrian Morrell. Stopped by Chris Singleton. Pick up a 5 on the play. Morrell has run 7 times for 20 yards. He emerged as a starter last season, but his true niche really maybe as a change of pace running back. Last season led the Jets in receiving and rushing, one of the few bright spots in the 3 and 13 campaign. 2nd down and 5 at the 25. And again Morrell off the spin. Well, some fancy running by Morrell for the 1st down. Buckley and Thomas collar him to make the tackle.
Play obviously designed to go off the left side. The Jets coming out doing what they said they were going to do at the beginning of the ball game, just running the ball. But Morrell, with nothing happening on the left, reverses his field. When you're on that infield right there, not only is it hard for you to change direction, but everybody else has problem changing direction. Remember, they don't know where you're going first, so you usually get a little bit of a start.
Now Jeff Graham is to the right. Backup tight end Fred Baxter, 84 in motion. And it's completed to Keyshawn Johnson, tackled by Calvin Jackson. Keyshawn has not been able to explode. That was his 5th catch of the day, but he's managed only 30 yards.
A lot of short passes. They got a lot of zone in the 1st half where Keyshawn would come across and sit down in the zone. They drew man-to-man coverage this time. Good throw. Gets it in on a tight one, but you're not going to pick up a lot of yards because you're going to catch it and go right down with man-to-man coverage on short crossing patterns.
Keyshawn Johnson, the first receiver taken #1 in the draft since Irving Fryer in 1984. And Morrell is stopped back behind the line. Steve Entman making the tackle. Miami Dolphins come in at 2-0, wins over New England. And Arizona last Sunday night beat the Cardinals 38-10. While the Jets at 0-2, blown out by the Broncos, lost to the Colts at home last week 21-7. A game that included that bizarre 32-minute 4th quarter suspension because of a violent electrical storm. You wonder, was that a message from up above? 3rd down and about 5. And the pass is broken up. Lewis Oliver with a hard hit on Jeff Graham, and the crowd not booing. They are chanting the name Lewis.
It looked like the ball came out funny or was tipped. Let's see if we can see it. Shotgun, releases, was tipped. You can see the rotation change on the flight of the ball. Had that ball not gotten tipped, it would have got in there, but the ball was in the air long enough for Lewis Oliver to come in and make the big hit.
And the 3rd part of the day for Brian Hansen. O.J. McDuffie is back. McDuffie across the 20 and try to swing back the other way. That cost him a couple of yards. 51-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Backup running back Sheridan May on the stop. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Beautiful 88-degree day in South Florida. Marv Albert with Sam Weish. We are early 3rd quarter. Dolphins and Jets tied at 14. Miami back to the offense at a nice hole for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Victor Green, the strong safety, making the stop. Look back at the Miami Dolphins possessions in the 1st half. That missed field goal from 37 yards away by Nedney. Then a punt, the interception, the 100-yard return by Aaron Glenn, another punt. And the Dolphins coming back in the 2nd quarter with the 2 touchdowns. They now have a 2nd down and 4 at the 30. Abdul-Jabbar got off to the slow start. The Dolphins trying to get him involved. And Sam, you look at a guy like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He emerged from Jimmy Johnson's training camp doghouse. There were some problems during the summer when he first reported because Johnson did not like the practice habits of Abdul-Jabbar.
Every player we talked to said, you do it Jimmy Johnson's way or you are out of there. And he made it very clear. I think the players actually appreciated him being upfront about the fact that he didn't care if you were a big-time player with a lot of money or a new guy. You did it his way.
It's a 3rd down and 4 out of the shotgun. Oh, a diving catch for the 1st down by Scott Miller. Covered up by Ray Mickens, and it's good for 15 yards.
The Jets have been playing a lot of double zone, meaning they got 2 safeties back there, and the inside patterns have a good chance. Marino puts the ball just inside of the outside technique that the cornerback has, as you see him break right back inside. Oh, that's just a great catch by Scott Miller.
Scott Miller has made it back from a severe knee injury. He missed all of last season. Play fake, and Marino's pass may be too strong for Abdul-Jabbar. Covered by Mo Lewis. It's so rare, I would think, that once a player gets in a coach's doghouse that he's able to recover. How about you? If someone got, well, I shouldn't even ask. I've seen your doghouse.
It's a nice doghouse. The only way you get out of a doghouse is perform. It's got little decorations. But the only way you get out of anybody's doghouse is you perform. You're not going to go back in and talk your way out. You can't have that sit-down, coach, can we have a minute and explain anything. Get back out there and play football, and that's what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has done.
2nd down and 10. And it's the 2nd back coming through. Abdul-Jabbar refusing to go down. Wow. "26 yards for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, finally taken down by Ray Mickens."
This is how you get out of the doghouse and into the penthouse right here. Solid running. Good blocking up front. Let's just enjoy the run, though. Everybody's got an arm tackle. Part of the problem here, the Jets are not putting their shoulder into Abdul-Jabbar's run, trying to steal the ball at the last moment. Nobody taking away his legs. As long as he's got the drive and the will to run, and this kid does, that's about as exciting a run as you'll see anywhere in this league.
And he's picking up the stats. 11 carries, 50 yards. Did score a touchdown in the 1st half. And Miami has a 1st down inside the Jet 30. Irvin Spikes now in the backfield with Stanley Pritchett. I think Kareem needs a rest after that last run. Spikes, oh, he popped, was able to break the tackle, did not go down. Marino threw a block. Spikes tries the other side, looking to stiff arm, but well covered. Combination of Mark Spindler and Ray Mickens.
Well, Marv, I don't know if I'm going to call that a block by Marino.
A brush block.
It was a, there was intent in his eyes. Okay. We'll give him that much.
Right.
The ball goes off to the right side with Irving Spikes. He goes to the right, hit immediately, bounces back. Now here's the block by Marino.
It's kind of a
there
screen.
It is. There's your block.
Yeah.
That's an intention.
It was an NBA screen.
Okay.
2nd and 11. Marino throwing deep. That pass intended for Spikes, covered by the linebacker, Lewis.
Marino's a little upset because people are getting in his face quick now. Not only on that pass play where the rush was getting in his face, but on the run, the previous play, someone didn't account for a blocking assignment. Miami Dolphins actually blown a couple of blocking assignments here. One in the run, one in the pass, the last 2 plays. Gotten away with it so far.
3rd down and 11. 8 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter. Jets and the Dolphins are tied at 14. 81 McDuffie in motion. Marino stepping up. Finds McDuffie for the 1st down. Wrestled out by Victor Green. A 17-yard advance. Effectively back to the run for Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a roommate during his college days with Keyshawn Johnson of the Jets, although Keyshawn was at USC and Kareem at UCLA, at an apartment in Culver City. And a Jet player is down. An official timeout is called. All right, we'll be back in a moment. Here's Matt Brock. He was the Jet player who was down a moment ago, shaken up. They're checking him out on the sideline, replaced by the veteran Brent Williams. 2nd and 6 at the 10. Miami driving. Just under 7 minutes to go in the 3rd. McDuffie. O.J. McDuffie with his 6th catch. And he was taken down by the left corner, Aaron Glenn.
Quick little outside move, getting outside the defender, Aaron Glenn. Not going to look for the touchdown right here or the big play. You're looking for the good run after the catch if you can get a little angle on the defender.
But looks to be right at the marker.
You know, one thing happened there, Marv. You see that this is the old Miami Dolphins, the way we're used to seeing pass versus run yardage. 300 total yards there, but when the fumble occurred, the ball is spotted where the fumble occurred, not where the ball bounced out of bounds. The ball bounced to a 1st down, but they moved it back to where the fumble occurred.
So it is spotted as a 3rd down and 1. And you look at the 66 yards rushing by Miami. 26 came on the one play by Abdul-Jabbar. 3rd down and 1 at the 5. And Abdul-Jabbar appears to have picked it up. Mike Chilinsky, Victor Green on the stop. It is a Miami 1st down.
And you sense just a little bit as you watch the Jets defensive line. They're getting penetration, but they're not making that second effort kind of a play. And it's really not the fair thing to say. It's not second effort. They're not able to adjust. They may be wearing down just a little bit as this game goes along. They were able to change direction, get in position to make a play earlier in the ball game. Remember, they had the great goal line stand. Well, here's another chance.
It is a 1st and goal just inside the 3. Marino passing up the Jets, throwing for the touchdown to the 3rd string tight end, Frank Wainwright. Frank Wainwright in his 6th season from Northern Colorado. Spent 4 years with New Orleans, then Philadelphia, then Miami, and he has his 1st touchdown reception of the season.
On the goal line earlier, 3 runs and nothing. You could almost guess that they were going to fake the ball up the middle, which they did, simulating the run and pull it back and try to throw the ball and throw it to somebody that's unlikely, Frank Wainwright.
Very unlikely. That is his 1st NFL touchdown.
That's as unlikely as you get.
And Nedney missing on the extra point. Earlier missed a 37-yard field goal. Somewhere Pete Stoyanovich is watching. We'll be right back. Well, for Joe Nedney, it's now 3 missed field goals, 1 today, and the missed extra point. And you have to wonder how long Jimmy Johnson will stay with this situation.
Well, kickers kick off, they kick field goals and extra points. The scoring plays are much more important than the kickoff. He's got to be considering it.
Well, at the goal line, Ron Carpenter. Got to go wide. Good coverage by the Dolphins. 5:23 remaining in the 3rd. Miami has a 6-point lead. Well, back to the missed extra point by Joe Nedney. He was signed as a free agent after spending last season on the practice squads of the Raiders and the Broncos. 3 missed field goals, a missed extra point. I would think somewhere out there the agents of Jeff Jager, Matt Barr, and Kevin Butler are about to get on the phone to dial Miami. Lester Slaughter has a 1st down. I recall the story Lynn Elliott in Dallas told Jimmy Johnson after a Cowboy game that he had lost confidence, and Johnson said he had no choice but to cut him.
Well, you know, if you in that situation, that's what you do. But when you're looking at a new kicker who in college didn't even have a history of high percentage of kicking, it's hard to believe that you know, you make this hard call right here. But he had to make a lot of tough decisions in this camp.
And a 1st down at the 36. Morrell with a 3-yard gain. Dwight Collier, the outside linebacker, making the stop. It'll be a 2nd down and 6 with just under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, you can experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League, for all of the tackles and touchdowns and a live game day scorecard. You can click on NFL.com. 2nd down and 6 at the Jet 40-yard line. Dolphins 20. The Jets 14. O'Donnell facing the pressure, and it's intercepted. Lewis Oliver picking it off. Lewis Oliver finding blockers. Lewis Oliver inside the 20 and down at the 15. And this, his 3rd interception of the season.
Lewis Oliver intercepted Drew Bledsoe and Ken Graham earlier this year. Neil O'Donnell on this one just anticipates the throw, comes in front. Looked like he wanted to knock the ball down to begin with, and realized he could get his other arm in there to make the, see his arm go up, then the other arm has time to come in and make the catch. You always catch the ball with your back arm. You don't catch it with the front arm, because the ball obviously is going to pass all the way into your body.
So O'Donnell intercepted for the 2nd time today, number 4 for the season. And Miami 1st down at the 15-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar. Gang tackle this time. The Jets not taking any chances. Mark Spindler leading the way. The report on Matt Brock, who went off in the previous series, hyperextended elbow, but should be able to return. It's a 2nd and 9 down at the 14-yard line.
Actually, Matt Brock was in on that play there, Mark, but he just went off the field again with that arm out. When you hyperextend that elbow, you have no grip.
3:25 remaining, 3rd quarter. Abdul-Jabbar stopped by Brent Williams. Look around the NFL. Green Bay convincingly over San Diego late in the 3rd quarter. Minnesota, Chicago now tied at 14. Philadelphia in front of Detroit 17-10. The Eagles looking to bounce back from the thrashing at the hands of the Packers. Houston coasting over the Baltimore Ravens, and New England bouncing back. Bill Parcells looking for his 1st victory. Marino to the end zone. Touchdown! And that was mistimed by Victor Green. He took a swipe at it, and Brett Carolyn, the tight end, was able to stay with it and make the catch.
Well, that leaves all the tight ends catching the ball, but their starter, Keith Myers. And Oliver set it up with the big interception.
And now the Dolphins are going for the 2-point conversion.
Not going to go with another extra point try. The 2 points, of course, makes it square again with the 7 points. Notice after the catch, he put the ball out over. Didn't need to do that. Sometimes you get a little bit cute. But when you're not used to catching a lot of touchdowns, have a little fun with it. Not going to try Joe Nedley again.
All right, Marino throwing and not able to pull it off. That's the first 2-point conversion attempt this season for Miami. So it's Miami 26 and the Jets 14. Well, that's the strong safety Victor Green, not feeling good about himself. A moment ago he was beaten on the touchdown pass to the tight end Brett Carolyn. Dan Marino, his 61st career touchdown against the New York Jets. Here's the kickoff from Nedney with a combination of Van Dyke and Carpenter. Van Dyke, the rookie from Nevada, forced out across the 25, and you saw the flag come flying. And a Jet player is down. We have 2 minutes 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Jets have the early lead, but Miami has come from behind and now in front, 26.
Illegal block below the waist on the kicking team, 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
On the kicking team. You know, as a kickoff cover person, you can shove a man as long as you're shoving him up high. In other words, if you're running behind him, and you can push him in the back because he's the would-be blocker, you're the would-be tackler. But you can't hit him below the waist and chop block him. The effect is like a chop block from the line of scrimmage. The result so many times is an injury. That's why they have the rule.
All right, right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel back in New York. All right, thank you, Greg. Chad Cascadden is the injured New York Jet, making his first NFL start. He's been noted for his excellent special teams play. In fact, had not started a game since his junior year in high school, but today starting for the injured Bobby Houston. Second-year man out of Wisconsin, a very tough guy, so you know that he is hurting.
Chop blocks will do that. Back to the touchdown a moment ago. Victor Green has been attacked all afternoon by the Miami Dolphins. Here he is right here in the top left screen. The tight end is going to go to the corner. Stop it right there just a second. Look at Dan Marino. He's looking left all the way. If you're coaching a young quarterback, you're mad at him. Okay, let's see how it unfolds. But he throws it to the outside. Just another Dan Marino day at the office. Jimmy Johnson, of course, is looking at the old veteran. This isn't any young rookie he's looking at quarterback. He's not mad. Just another hand, right hand over left hand as he claps. Another touchdown.
So Dan Marino celebrating his 35th birthday. It's only the third time that he's actually played in the NFL on his birthday. He split the previous 2 games. O'Donnell. Oh, a hard hit. And it's rolled incomplete. Zach Thomas with the pop on Reggie Cobb.
Zach Thomas plays the entire ball game, every snap. The ball should have been cleanly caught. It really was never in possession before the contact. In the arms, good throw. No chance to make that catch. Once things start rolling, it's amazing how good plays by one player is fed by another.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And the flag tossed as the Jets are penalized. So they are sent back to a 1st and 20 back at the 41-yard line. 6 penalties apiece, but the Jets have been assessed 65 yards. Last week, called for 15 penalties in all, a franchise record. Last Sunday against the Colts, there were 8 against the Jet special teams. The screen, again it's Cobb, but a very short pickup. He was met by the right defensive tackle, Tim Bowens.
Chris Singleton blitzed on that one. They played Jones behind it, still made a nice play, but Bowens slow getting up. In fact, well, sometimes when you roll over like that, that can be just the wind. You got to be very careful and take a long look.
Tim Bowens in his 3rd season out of Mississippi, a 1st-round pick of the Dolphins. Back in '94, had that excellent rookie year, but last year on the inconsistent side.
Here's Bowens right here, just as the play has unfolded. Screen off to the right side. That looks like one of those plays where you just all stretched out, you hit that ground hard. The wind immediately escapes, unannounced. Unannounced. And there you see when the trainers are out there talking to you like that, he's saying things like, you know, how's the crowd taking it? Yes. And of course they're taking it pretty good. They're giving him a nice hand coming off.
It'll be a 2nd and 18 at the 33. A reminder, next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the Solheim Cup the first of 2 days of coverage. Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We are down to 1:56 to go in this third quarter. Steve Entman has replaced Tim Bowens. O'Donnell got the protection, but still short of a first down. Jeff Graham with his first catch, covered by Terrell Buckley, and it brings up a third and about 9.
They were in their nickel or dime defense that time, and almost a prevent defense. They were willing to give them part of it, but they were going to give them all of the first down yardage in a second down and long. Now it's third and long. They'll tighten it up.
And you hear the crowd again urging on the Dolphin defensive unit, and the play was blown dead. Aaron Jones with the move on Neil O'Donnell, but a flag throw.
The referee's job is to make sure a quarterback never gets a cheap shot.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, the penalty's beginning to kill the Jets. Jumbo Elliott called once again. Sam, does this tell us that they are a thoroughly undisciplined football team? They had the same problem a year ago.
Well, you hate to draw quick conclusions, but discipline is part of being aggressive without getting penalties. If you're not able to do that, there's an element of lack of discipline somewhere.
Third and 14. O'Donnell able to complete. Jeff Graham has a first down. Picked up 20 on the play. The tackle by the free safety, Gene Atkins.
You know, the other side to that, Marv, is we watch Graham make this catch right over the middle. Is that sometimes you're just trying hard. You're trying to recover, trying to get something started, especially early in the season, and you make mistakes like that. The other explanation is exactly what you suggest, though. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline, though, starts somewhere earlier. It doesn't just show up on game day. You know, it's a practice habit.
First and 10 at the Dolphin 43. And O'Donnell with the quick release. And a nice catch by Graham right at the marker. Jeff Graham tucked it in, stepped out. Calvin Jackson on the coverage. It is just shy of a first down.
And at this point, you have to say the New York Jets have not lost their poise, dropping down now by a 26-14 score. Good drive underway right here. First half with the big lead, and some good ideas offensively and defensively with game plans on both sides of the ball.
And that will do it for this third quarter here in Miami. The score, the Dolphins 26 and the Jets 14. Back in Miami, the Dolphins with a 26-14 lead on the Jets. Miami trailing 14-0, but coming back strong late second quarter. And here in the third, the Jets, now as this fourth quarter gets underway, with a 2nd and 1 at the Miami 34-yard line. And Reggie Cobb gunning for the first down. Reggie Cobb, the backup to Adrian Morrell, stopped by Shane Burton, the left defensive end. The report, incidentally, on Tim Bowens that he was shaken up, but is all right, should return. First down for the Jets at the Miami 31, and there is Tim Bowens. Webster Slaughter is to the right side. And O'Donnell trying to connect with Graham. Jeff Graham on a post pattern covered by the combination of Gene Atkins and Calvin Jackson.
And that ball was just forced in there. Gene Atkins was in absolute perfect position. The ball hadn't been thrown out of bounds, honestly. There'd been a chance for an interception. An up pattern, a go pattern, fly pattern, lots of names for this. It means run straight up the field as fast as you can go along the sideline. And you see Gene Atkins coming into play. He's really the guy that defenses that. If it's a poor throw, the corner comes into play. If it's a good throw, the safety's supposed to make the play.
And it's been a turnaround for Gene Atkins, who went through a troubled season under Don Shula last year. Benched one game. Got into an argument with members of the coaching staff. Leaping reception by Graham, but it is ruled that he was out of bounds. Incomplete on the coverage by J.B. Brown.
The factors involved there. If you've got complete control of the ball and the official thinks you're going to come down inbounds and you're shoved by the defender, it's a completed pass. I think the official was moving his hands up and down as if he didn't quite have control of the ball, so it didn't matter whether he would have come in bounds, was shoved out of bounds or not. See, he doesn't quite have it. His foot is out of bounds anyway. Good call by the official.
3rd and 10. Now Keyshawn Johnson split to the right, and Jeff Graham on the slot to the right side, but the Jets calling for time. Just about 1 minute gone by in the 4th quarter. You are watching the NFL on NBC.
Woo! All right, Dolphins! Let's go! Woo!
This the 62nd meeting all time between the Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins with a 31-29 edge, one tie. Jets, though, have won 6 of the past 10 meetings. Miami leading 26-14. 3rd and 10 for the Jets at the Miami 31. And O'Donnell's pass off course. Intended for Webster Slaughter. Covered again by J.B. Brown. And here is Nick Lowry. So to give you an idea how bad things have gone for the Jets this season, coming into today with 1 point on the year, the Jets' 3rd leading scorer. This will be his first field goal attempt of the season from 49 yards away.
And this is the 3rd all-time leading scorer in the history of the National Football League, Nick Lowry.
All right, 49-yard attempt. It is no good. So Lowry going wide right in his first effort of the season. Well, Nick Lowry not able to hit from 49 yards out. Chatting with the kickoff specialist Don Silvestri, that his first field goal attempt of the season. Miami getting the ball back at their 39-yard line. The last 4 possessions have resulted in touchdowns. The pass dropped by the fullback Stanley Pritchett.
The hole in the infield dirt is a perfect hole. See the quarterback Frank Wright puts the ball down. Laces are directly away from the kicker so that he's kicking the back seam. That gives him the best thrust in the ball. Just missed it wide right. And Rich Kotite is as frustrated as anybody. You know, the coach doesn't kick it. He makes the call, but he also has to answer to every one of the questions after the game about it.
And there have been some questions for Rich.
And there will be again after this one. Part of the business.
2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line. Early 4th quarter. And Marino with that quick release. O.J. McDuffie using the stiff arm. That's a 7th catch of the day. Aaron Glenn, Victor Green combined to make the stop. And the question is, where will they spot it? And it is not a favorable spot for the Dolphins.
Just short of the first down.
It'll be a 3rd and about a half yard. The last 4 possessions for Miami. Touchdown, 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 and touchdown.
And one of the Dolphin players just fell over. He was standing there and dropped.
It's the left guard, Keith Sims. Might be the heat. 88 degrees out there today. We'll be right back. A bit woozy as he went down a moment ago. Has been replaced at left guard by the rookie from Stanford, Jeff Bucky.
You know, Sims is 309 pounds. It wouldn't be unusual for a man that big to lose 12, maybe 14 pounds on a day like today.
Might have been cramps, might have been the heat. He's on the sideline. Miami gunning for the first down. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar pushed back the other way. Mark Spindler making the stop. And it looks like they are short of the first down. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, this reminder, Jim Harbaugh of the Indianapolis Colts warming up as he gets set to take on His opposite number, Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys. The 2-0 Colts, the 1-1 Cowboys getting set to do battle. Most of you will see that doubleheader game coming up next here on NBC. Let's go back to Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. John Kidd is on for his third punt of the day. Wayne Krebet back in single safety at his 10-yard line. 12:20 to go in this fourth quarter, and Kidd just did get it off. And Krebet let it sail beyond the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. It's a 52-yard punt by Kidd. Well, Saturday, it's the 2-hour movie premiere of Dark Skies. And the invasion is about to begin. Now, Sam, you've been telling the stories to me for years about UFOs. Could it be that alien life has been on Earth for a long time and they're taking human form? So check out the Paul McGuire story, Dark Skies. Mark your calendar and watch the 2-hour movie premiere on NBC Saturday at 7 Central. Dark Skies coming soon.
Boy, I can't tell you anything, Marv.
And O'Donnell able to swing it out to Anderson. Met by Buckley.
You know, the Jets had the big goal line stand early. That third and short stop, forcing this fumble, gives them a chance right now with plenty of time to get back in this ballgame. They've had some big moments in this game.
2nd down and 7. But big moments that have been set back by a couple of penalties. Key pass interference on the rookie corner Ray Mickens, which led to a Miami touchdown. O'Donnell. And again deflected. That's the 3rd time that we've seen a ball tip. And it's Tim Bowens who is back in there getting a piece of it.
When a ball is tipped like that, especially when you get more than one in a game, either the quarterback's not getting deep enough or the offensive line is giving too much cushion with the pass rush. They may be blocking their man. As you see, they are right here. Good position. But they are still giving the defender is getting so close to the quarterback, they can't get any elevation on the flight of the ball. Hands go up. Remember, these guys are 6'5". They stick their hands up. They're over 8 feet tall.
O'Donnell now 16 of 25, 142 yards. Not able to get much going, though. A bullet as he faced the pressure. That pass intended for Graham. Aaron Jones in the backfield in a hurry.
This is not a sack, but of course the result's going to be the same. You're not going to get the minus yardage, but that's what's called a pressure, and a big time pressure, because quarterback not only felt the pressure, but he could not step into the throw. And if a quarterback can't follow through with his motion, he'll ground him just like that.
All right, here's Hansen with the punt. And McDuffie up for the fair catch at the 41. 36-yard punt by Hansen. It's Miami 26 and the Jets 14. There's Keith Sims on the Miami sideline, and as we speculated, bothered by heat cramps, replaced by Cal Dixon, a one-time New York Jet. So Dixon playing at left guard. He's also a backup center. And it's Miami back to the offense. Big hole for Irving Spikes. Chased by Aaron Glenn and brought down inside the 10. A 49-yard run by Spikes, who has been explosive.
Miami just trying to eat up some clock. Pops one right through here. Left side doing a good job. And now it's a foot race between Spikes and Aaron Glenn. And the odds were 2-1, Glenn's favor. You notice right there at the very end there, Glenn tries to steal the ball. The big play's been made, 49 yards down the field. The only thing you can do now is to try to take the play away with a turnover. Open field. Glenn getting the run. Watch him right at the very end try to come down over the top. Right there. Spikes felt it coming. He'll pull the ball away beautifully.
12 carries, 64 yards for Spikes. And he just ran for 49. And that's Hugh Douglas, the Jets' outstanding second-year player, who checked out. Keith Sims, who left a moment ago, is back on the field. coming on for Cal Dixon. There's Keith, who last year made his 3rd straight Pro Bowl, although he was bothered by a turf toe right throughout the season. But the Jets concerned about Hugh Douglas.
Here's Hugh Douglas right here playing defensive right end. He was playing moved to left end for part of this game. As you see, that's a legal block. He is blocked by the watch right up here at the top. You see him again. Another look at it. Legal block. His leg just gets caught underneath it. As long as the defender can see that blocker coming, he's not being blocked from the outside in on a clip or a crackback type situation, and as long as he's not being influenced by another blocker, in other words, occupied by one blocker while somebody else comes in and chops him, it's a legal block. That's not a chop block, just a cut block, which is legal.
Hugh Douglas with 10 sacks a year ago, a Jets rookie record, breaking the mark that was held by Joe Klecko, who had 8 back in 1977. The NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year last season. And he is being helped off by Richie Anderson.
You know, knees are so vulnerable. There are a lot of trends that come in and out of this game. At one point, there are a lot of coaches that wanted to put braces on all their defensive and offensive linemen, feeling like it didn't slow them down enough to bother, and the added safety was well worth it. But the players rebel against that kind of stuff. You notice you don't see any hip pads anymore on football players. Used to, they'd wear those girdle pads, and before that they had on those strap-on pads. Very rarely. Marino, of course, well padded. This guy's been around for the whole duration.
And wearing a lighter brace on his left knee. Marino bringing his team up to the line. They have a 1st and goal at the 10. 11 minutes remaining 4th quarter. Miami with a 26-14 lead. McDuffie in motion. It spikes with the hole again, fighting his way to the 5. Taken down by Marcus Coleman. He's played most of the way. Gary Jones, the starter at free safety, but we have not seen much of Jones.
Gary Jones was delivering a lot of tough blows early, but knocked himself out. Marcus Coleman, big hole initially. Coleman coming from the secondary. Remember, they're down there close. Nobody's playing deep anymore. Everybody's around the line of scrimmage. Solid tackle, no more movement. When you make a tackle like that and then nobody falls forward, you did it the right way.
2nd and goal at the 5. Again, McDuffie in motion. And again, it is Spikes. And this time he is stacked up. Would not go down, but his forward progress will be marked. Victor Green, Mike Chelensky combined on the tackle. Well, they have now run for 130 yards on the ground. They've passed for 257. They had only 35 yards on the ground at the half. Here's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, hearing it from the crowd as he steps on.
The reason they were probably applauding Spikes coming off and Abdul-Jabbar going on. The reason that whistle was blown is forward motion was stopped.
Penalty flag is thrown. Abdul-Jabbar in for the touchdown. But a flag is down. And the Dolphins.
Offsides, defense, number 93. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Well, Gary Lane calling the offside and made contact with Miami's right guard Chris Gray as he was giving the indication.
That's another penalty costing the New York Jets. And what happened there was that the Miami Dolphins didn't stop the play. They knew there was a penalty. They carried it out, scored the touchdown, and now we're going to see if we can make an extra point.
Well, it has been an adventure for Joe Nedney. First-year player from San Jose State. This one is good. Sam, I'm assuming you use the royal we in referring to if we can make an extra point.
Absolutely. We meaning all of the fans
Yes.
that we're observing from our neutral site here in the booth.
Exactly. And Miami up 33-14 with 9:22 to go in the fourth quarter.
Dan Marino's the field general right here. Watch his head right here. He's just talking to his team. That little nod right there telling one of the receivers that he wants him to do something. Go in motion in this case. You saw him go right behind the quarterback. Simple little toss, getting outside everybody, all the angles. Blockers had the outside technique on the defenders. I think maybe you saw the New York Jets maybe lighten up thinking that play was going to be called dead.
Well, it has been a happy birthday for Dan Marino. Did not begin in that manner, but it has gotten better and better as the game has progressed. This is the third time he's played on his birthday. Back in September of '85, led the Dolphins over the Colts. And here's Ron Carpenter on the kick return. Dan Marino looking to make it a record of 2-1 as a birthday boy. And then against Detroit in '91 at the age of 30. Not a happy birthday. 16 of 34, 174 yards, and a 17-13 loss. And this, the stat line today, 13 of 23, 257 yards. He's thrown 3 touchdowns and picked off once. That by Aaron Glenn, who returned at 100 yards, a Jet franchise record for an interception return. O'Donnell again goes short range. Morrell with nowhere to go. Run out by Terrell Buckley.
And all bets are off on balancing run and pass from now on. They're into the 3 wide receiver. We'll probably see 4 wide receivers here throwing the football. Now the offensive line that is healthy for the first time is going to really be tested because the Dolphins will be pinning their ears back.
Yes, the Jets telling us yesterday that they were very happy to have their offensive line intact for the very first time, meaning that Jumbo Elliott and David Williams are on the field together for the first time, but still having their problems. Adrian Morrell with a short pickup. Zach Thomas on the stop. Is there a sense of urgency here on the part of the Jets? Why go to the ground?
Well, you don't see a sense of urgency after the snap, and you certainly don't see one going back to the huddle. Just a wander back to the huddle. The heart may have been taken out of him without touchdown, but it's not supposed to. It's a 4-quarter football game, and there's 8 minutes left.
Third down and 3 at the 22. And now O'Donnell to the sideline. Jeff Graham. Jeff Graham in a foot race goes all the way. 78-yard pass play, and that did show a sense of urgency.
Well, it did. The heart will come right back to you now, making a big play. What we didn't like before was it didn't look like they were expecting that big play to happen, but it did. An out pattern. Graham is going to come up and break to the outside, just as he does. Going for the interception sometimes is a big mistake, especially when you've got a team down like that. But Terrell Buckley's had interceptions, leads the league right now, wanted one more.
And Graham with his 4th catch, 117 yards, all in the second half. A 78-yard touchdown pass play, and it appears that the Jets will go for the 2 points.
For the 2 points would make it 22-33, an 11-point difference.
Now, Sam, did you have a little formula, a little card with you on the sideline?
The coaches upstairs do, not on the sideline. They do upstairs.
All right, Morrell is in.
Wait a second, he's not. The Jets gave him the touchdown. The officials do not. And now the protest is probably going to cost him some more yards.
The Jets felt that he had crossed the goal line, providing the indication the flag has been thrown. The official says no. And unsportsmanlike conduct called because of the reaction by the Jets.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, bracing an official, number 29, on the kicking team, 15 yards on the kickoff.
Well, that was Morrell complaining because he thought that he was in. Let's take a look at it.
See if we can see exactly how animated he might be. You can't touch that official, and you can't say anything that is too offensive, and that's all a judgment call. Here, the plane of the goal line crossed by the ball, it's in. The official ruled, obviously, that he was already down before the ball crossed the goal line. That one could have gone either way, though, Marv. That was a judgment call by the official all the way.
And he brushed up with the head linesman, Sanford Rivers, which led to the 15 yards. Let's get another look at Adrian Morrell, and the question here, was he down before he got the ball over the goal line?
You've got the advantage of slowing it down. His hip is down right there. I think the official is right on this. He came down and then picked himself back up. If any part of your body touches the ground other than your hand or the ball in your hand, you're down at that point. That of course means that your feet can touch the ground too.
Yes, that's a good point. 7:47 remaining in the fourth quarter, and Miami in front 33-20. Now, even if he had converted the two-pointer, they would be down by 11, which would still necessitate a couple of touchdowns.
Well, actually, they could have scored a touchdown, gone for the 2. That's 8, and a field goal could have tied it up. So that was probably the percentage they were playing with 7 minutes plus left. They may not have enough time to get it 3 times. They wanted to have it only twice.
All right, Irving spikes on the return. .28-yard kick return, 7:36 remaining fourth quarter. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel. All right, thank you, Greg. And here, Miami with a 33-20 lead on the Jets. 7.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar getting the call. And now Adrian Morrell is headed back to the Jet locker room. We'll have to check on that. We did not receive any report concerning an ejection. He was hit with that unsportsmanlike penalty. Bobby Hamilton of the Dolphins now. Let's check that. Keith Sims of the Dolphins is shaken up.
Adrian Morrell a moment ago walked off slow. His head was down. I thought he might have been dejected, but he may have been injured on that last play, and taking him in to take a look.
Now Irving spikes back, replacing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Marv, I don't think Morrell was ejected because that's an announced penalty, and you would announce to the crowd that someone has been ejected, and then he would have immediately had to leave the field.
Keith Sims moments ago forced to the sidelines because of heat cramps, and down once again. Cal Dixon replaced him earlier.
Marv, right now Rich Kotite is saying to himself, we're going to get 2 more possessions, maybe 3. That's it. They have to score on all of their possessions basically in order to win the game, or at least on the next 2 in order to tie it. They've got to score to go ahead. So he has 4 down situations coming up. That's what they're thinking when they get the ball back. There won't be any 3rd down calls. There'll be 4th down calls as well. But that's assuming this defense can get their offense back on the field.
Well, Cal Dixon has replaced Keith Sims. And you know he's unsteady when he's being led over to the bench in that manner. 2nd and 10 at the 42. Audible from Marino. Spikes. And he is turned back by Victor Green. Oh, and the ball was stripped. And Victor Green coming up with the football. And the Jets say they've recovered. No official indication. Spike's upset. The Miami offense now headed off the field. So the Jets did force the fumble.
And that was a late call coming from Gary Lane, the referee. They wanted to make sure they had all the thoughts in before they made that call. Just going to be stripped from the ball as long as the whistle hasn't blown and the ref or the official hasn't said that forward momentum has stopped. It's anybody's ball. It looked like the forward momentum had stopped to me right there, but they gave it to the Jets.
So the Jets take over, and we had just been told, although there was no official announcement, that Adrian Morrell was ejected from the game. Here is O'Donnell going up top, intended for Webster Slaughter, covered by J.B. Brown. So Morrell was tossed following the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty where he brushed up against the head linesman, and we saw Morrell headed back to the locker room. It was not an injury. He has had it for the day.
That's surprising. The mechanics that the officials have is that is to be announced for both sides, because remember, there's still strategy going on. You've got to defense different people. The Dolphins want to know who is playing over there on the other side of the ball.
So Reggie Cobb is the running back with the departure of Adrian Morrell. 2nd and 10 from the 38. O'Donnell to the sideline and has Slaughter for the first down. J.B. Brown. Now they say no catch. He bobbled and did not have possession. And it is ruled incomplete.
Got to have possession and both feet in bounds. After the long home run try, they come back to get the first down out of bounds to stop the clock as well. Looks pretty good to me. Remember, if he catches it and then bobbles it, it's still a catch. The bobble comes after possession. The ball is, you're right, the officials down there a lot closer than we are. He could see the ball was not totally put away.
3rd and 10 at the 38. Protection for O'Donnell, and he is able to complete right at the marker. Fred Baxter, the backup tight end, with his first reception. Sean Hill on the stop. And the report on Hugh Douglas is that they have taken him in to X-ray his ankle. And now Aaron Jones is down. It's beginning to look like the Pittsburgh-Jacksonville game that we broadcast on opening day, where the Steelers were hard hit with a number of injuries, and we've seen this on both sides of the ball.
Well, what we're watching right now, Marv, is a hot day. Players losing a lot of fluids, a lot of salt going out from the hard work they put on the field, and this is when the injuries happen. They're less able to defend themselves. They don't fall quite the same way. When they take a blow, it's coming a little bit harder. And you see more injuries happen late in the ball game, early in the season like this.
Aaron Jones, who came into today bothered by a sprained left thumb in his 9th year out of Eastern Kentucky.
Right here is Aaron Jones coming up the field. Looks like he may have been having the cramp actually at that point, just as he's coming up the field. Certainly wasn't a hard hit that took him out. And a little bit of a rest there to make sure everything's okay. And you have a lot of people standing around you now. If that guy starts to fall over at about 200 and some odd pounds,
yeah,
do you think they're going to catch him before he actually hits the earth?
Well, let's see, 6'5", 267, and looking a little wobbly.
Yeah, when that starts to happen.
As a free agent, where he come up on 6 minutes remaining in the 4th, and the Jets first down at the Dolphin 27. Well, the intended receiver, Webster Slaughter, lost his balance, fell down.
The Jets right now are trying to complete passes that will stop the clock as well. Remember, the clock is going to be restarted until it gets inside 5 minutes. We're at 6 minutes right now, so had the catch been made, run out of bounds, as soon as the ball's spotted, they would rewind it, but just save a few seconds doing it this way.
Second and 10 at the 27. The lone deep back is Reggie Cobb. O'Donnell throwing on the run. Jeff Graham. Well, Graham, who went 78 yards for the touchdown early this 4th quarter, was able to free himself up. Robert Bailey made the stop, a 16-yard pickup, his 5th catch for 133 yards. What a day for the one-time Steeler, the one-time Bear, Jeff Graham. Of course, Neil O'Donnell, familiar with Jeff from their days with Pittsburgh. 82 catches last season as a member of the Chicago Bears.
Actually helped recruit him to come here as a free agent.
1st and goal, down at the 7. O'Donnell throwing, threw it away, facing pressure, and a flag is down.
Boy, the referee's call, it's his judgment. Did he throw it away to save a sack, or did he throw it away because he misread a pattern that was supposed to develop down the field? Obviously, Gary Lane feels like he was trying to save the sack. I agree with Gary on this one.
Intentional grounding. Offense, quarterback, no receiver in the area, and he was still in the pocket. 10-yard penalty, loss of down.
Well, that's the key. No receiver in the area, and he was still in the pocket.
A few years ago, they instituted a rule that if the quarterback breaks the pocket, gets outside the tackle-to-tackle area, then he can throw the ball anywhere to get rid of it, to save extra hits on that quarterback. But once he's in that pocket, the rules apply. The only time they really stop it there if he's in that grass.
9th penalty on the Jets. 2nd and goal at the 17. O'Donnell floats one, and it's dropped by Brady. Kyle Brady could not hold on. Brady has not been a target today. Remember last week had that key fumble and could not hold on as he was covered by Atkins.
This is as costly as the fumble was at the 1-yard line. He's wide open in the zone. If he makes this catch, they not only have a first down, they may have a touchdown. The important thing for the Jets right now is they got 2 downs. They've got to get a score here. Don't worry about a desperation throw. You've got 2 downs to get it, to the first down, and then in the end zone.
3rd and goal from the 17. Here they come, and O'Donnell is hammered down at the 30. Sean Hill with the safety blitz, and penalty flags are also thrown. If it holds up, it's the 2nd sack of the day for Miami.
Rich Kotite is looking at his
Chop block, number 28 on the offense. Penalties decline, 4th down.
That was Reggie Cobb on a chop block. He was blocking someone low while he was engaged with somebody else. Actually, that officially is not a chop block. That is an incorrect call, Mark. A chop block occurs when he's engaged by somebody else, and he was not. Sometimes things happening fast, officials don't see it that way.
Well, it's a 4th and goal back at the 29 with just under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and O'Donnell firing for the end zone. It's a jump ball. Touchdown! Keyshawn Johnson at 6'3", winning the battle.
And notice his celebration here. A week ago, catching the first one, it was dramatically different. Handling it like an all-pro, I'd say, right now.
Well, we talked with him yesterday, and we came away with the fact that he had every intention not to pull off the kind of celebration, the over-exuberant celebration that we saw a week ago. But he was able to beat the 5'9" Terrell Buckley, the 5'9" Robert Bailey. 6 catches, 59 yards. And a touchdown for Keyshawn, who was basically catching short pattern passes earlier. It is now 33-26, and the point after. Well, there's much time remaining. 4:52 left a dramatic 4th down and goal from the 29. A dramatic pass from Neil O'Donnell to the rookie Keyshawn Johnson, who was able to come up with his 2nd NFL touchdown. It is now a 6-point ball game.
Keyshawn Johnson at 6'3", going against a much smaller defensive backfield, especially in Terrell Buckley at 5'9". Doesn't really get a big jump. He just reaches up there and gets it. This is a totally different guy right here. As we look at him, that's totally under control. That's not like an all-pro. That's like an old pro that has just made a play.
Sam, interesting. It looked like Wayne Frabette, who is not a guy who celebrates, wanted to get into some form of celebration, and Keyshawn Johnson waved him off. Did not want to get involved.
Don't think that Keyshawn Johnson, he's a smart kid. He's inhibited a little bit by, he didn't want to be accused of anything extra, and he is going to right now just hand that ball back to the first guy that wants it. I'll tell you what, Rich Kotite is very excited right now, but how big was the missed extra point early? There is now a 6-point difference in this ball game.
And the timeout rundown. Jets with 2 left. Dolphins 3 remaining. Miami 33. New York Jets 27. And the kickoff from Don Silvestri. And he boots it away. Jarris McPhail, who has blazing speed, trying to pick his way, and is taken down across the 25. It's a 27-yard return. Otis Smith on the tackle. Well, a moment ago, we're discussing the celebration, the overzealous celebration by Keyshawn Johnson last week against the Indianapolis Colts. At the time, the Jets were down 14-0. This right at the end of the half. The excessive celebration. He certainly heard it right throughout the week. And in contrast, the reaction following the touchdown grab. And he's just looking to give the ball to someone.
Yeah, I applaud him. I'll tell you, he's been through a lot this week. He's a young player, has a lot to learn, and got to learn it in a hurry. They need him on this football team.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at the 26-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar is able to slither his way. Green and Coleman combine to make the stop. Picked up 8. 19 carries, 75 yards for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Dan Marino will be using every second of that 40-second clock that he can. Nobody will have to remind him. Watch, he's spending some time in the huddle, just letting it run down a little bit so they don't have to stand at the line of scrimmage very long. Remember, when you're at the line of scrimmage, you're in a flex position. You wear yourself down just a little bit, more chances to make a mistake.
Second down and 2. Abdul-Jabbar. He is at the marker. Marvin Jones, the middle linebacker, with the hit and the tackle. And it is a Miami 1st down.
Every 1st down means another minute and 15 seconds or so, minute and 10 seconds. That's going to be belonging to the Miami Dolphins, assuming the timeout, of course, isn't called by the New York Jets. But right now, the Jets are watching that clock, deciding when they're going to make their first timeout call.
And also try to entangle the wires.
Look at the wire. Bigger problem than you think on the sideline.
1st down at the 37. Abdul-Jabbar finding the running room, has a block. Chad Cascadden able to bring him down, but Abdul-Jabbar ran for 29 more.
The New York Jets are trying to stop what they know is coming, the running game. But in doing so, sometimes once a lane is broken through, once you get through that line of scrimmage, you don't have that next layer of linebackers and the next layer of defensive backs. Bounces outside. You see there's nobody behind him right here. In a normal situation, you'd have a safety coming up to make a tackle, but they're in a little bit of a desperate situation, trying to get the ball right back.
Abdul-Jabbar ran for 115 yards opening day against New England, 108 here today. Gets the call out of the other side, and again, some beautiful blocking, and he has a first down. Ran for 14 more. Mo Lewis able to run him out. What a combination on the ground between the third-year player Irving Spikes and the rookie Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Still just trying to use the clock, and the big plays are coming. Great block right here by Stan Pritchett. Right, takes two people out, and bouncing outside Abdul-Jabbar. Only thing he could have done better there, Marv, stay in bounds.
And he heads to the sideline. Here's the applause from the crowd. Bernie Parmalee has come on in the backfield now with Stanley Pritchett, and Marino goes to Parmalee. Bernie Parmalee, the last time he faced the Jets, had a huge game, 120 yards on the ground. Jones and Williams combined on the tackle with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Jets using a timeout. Miami with a 33-27 lead. It has been a game of big plays, a game of some key penalties once again hurting the Jets. Jets now have 1 timeout left. Miami has all 3 timeouts remaining.
Yep, and a lot of times people will wonder, why would you call a timeout with 2:05 left? It's a smart call, because they're going to run the ball right now. A running play will take 6 to 8 seconds. So really they're saving those 5. They're only running off 3 seconds that they couldn't have saved before, and of course whatever few seconds it took to get the timeout call. The 2 minutes to call him right here, but there's an argument of it. Why not just go ahead and let those 5 seconds run off and call one later? It's a wash, 50-50.
Miami trying to hold on to go 3-0. Remember, last season they did start at 4-0 under Don Shula, but then wound up 9-7. Lost in the playoffs in the wild card to Buffalo. Nice hold on the right side for Parmalee. Bernie Parmalee on the slant, hauled down by Victor Green. And now we get the 2-minute warning. When we come back, 3rd down and 3. And there is Joe Nedney, who has not had a good day. Earlier missed a field goal from 37 and missed an extra point early third quarter following a Marino touchdown pass to the tight end Wainwright. Was not able to convert. And that a big point. A 6-point lead for Miami. 3rd down and 3 for the Dolphins at the Jet 14-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar.
This is an interesting decision that Jimmy Johnson is going to go with the field goal. The missed extra point early in the third quarter has set up this situation. A 6-point differential. The field goal made here, of course, would give him 9 points, but if he misses, the ball will be spotted at the placement, and the Jets taking a timeout to conserve time as well, of course, to ice Joe Nedney a little bit. Let him think about that third quarter kick. Here's the missed extra point earlier in the game. Third quarter, 20-14. Good spot, just pulled it left. Now that's the memory that Jimmy Johnson has as he sends Nedney out for what should be the closing field goal here.
Well, for what it's worth, the misses by Nedney were both on the other side of the field.
Yep.
With the infield perhaps playing a role. This will be a 28-yard attempt. But if you're kicking in Miami where they're playing in a baseball stadium, you must adjust to that factor. There's no excuse.
There's no excuse. 28 yards. An NFL kicker is supposed to make these every time out.
All right, the holder is the punter, John Kidd. And Nedney's kick is good.
There's a penalty on the field, though. If it's against Miami, we're going to have to see him do it again.
Down to 1 minute and 45 remaining in the fourth quarter. The points have not been put on the board. Miami with a 33-27
We have a
lead.
pull and shoot on number 53 on the defense. Hold a man out of the way to allow a teammate to go in.
Whoa.
Penalty is declined. Extra point is good. Field goal is good.
That's a little catapult attempt by Chad Cascadden as they try to either disturb the kicker, Joe Nedney, or get a piece of the ball.
Well, let me tell you, every team in the league does it. It's rarely called, and if it is a clear rule, you can't go up and grab a blocker, pull him away so he can't block, and then run somebody in the hole that's left.
So the field goal holds up from officially 29 yards away, and Miami now leads 36-27. Here's a look at it.
Right up in here, it looks like we're going to see the pull. You can see right there was a pull. If we can run that one back and try it one more time. As they come in, Cascadden just reaches out and grabs. The rush is coming from the outside, and the grab occurs right here. You'll be able to see him pull him inside. Didn't get to the kicker, but sometimes you get a clean run.
So it's called on Chad Cascadden. Rich Kotite watching the kick carefully.
And every coach that's ever coached knows that feeling, because that one is that field goal, of course, makes it almost impossible to get back without a big return and a big play.
All right, here is Alex Van Dyke, who is cut down across the 20-yard line, stopped by Chris Singleton. We are down to 1:40 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Dolphins now lead 36-27 as you check out the scores around the NFL. Minnesota by 3 over Chicago with about a minute remaining. Final score, Eagles able to bounce back, beating the Lions by 7. Houston over Baltimore 29-13.
The Jets are out of timeouts, which means everything's got to happen. Hurry up. 4 wide receivers. They got to get it in big chunks.
They're starting from the 23. O'Donnell could not find anyone, and now does. Good tackle by Zach Thomas to stop Wayne Crabette, who is headed downfield. It's a pickup of 19, but as you mentioned, no timeouts left. Clock is running. 1:20 to go in this fourth quarter.
O'Donnell's calling all these plays. Nothing's coming in from the sideline now.
And again, it is Crabette who is trying to get to that far side to stop the clock, but could not. Robert Bailey on the tackle. Neil O'Donnell, 23 of 39, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We're down to 50 seconds to go.
The defense just sits outside, waiting, trying not to allow that to happen right there. They want to let him catch inside, but they don't want him to get to the sideline.
And Webster Slaughter able to pick up the first down. Stay tuned for game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of you will see the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys hosting Jim Harbaugh and the Indianapolis Colts. Others will see Jacksonville and Oakland.
The old prevent defense. This is the one that's complained about, I think, by fans more than anything else. But you want to give them a few yards, but make it take a long time, and the clock works in your favor as a defense.
And here's O'Donnell airing it out. Again, a jump ball situation. This time it does not work. Intended for Keyshawn Johnson, who caught one in the end zone. Terrell Buckley on the coverage. We were talking about this with Keyshawn yesterday about the advantage against the well, Buckley listed at 5'9". It said he's actually 5'8.5". He claims he's 5'10", but Johnson's saying it really doesn't matter in the NFL. They're so advanced in terms of their technique that even if a guy has a size disadvantage, he can handle it.
Well, I tell you, if the ball's in the air long enough, it doesn't matter because they can time their jumps. But if the ball's thrown on line, it does make a difference.
Second down and 10. And O'Donnell completes again to Crabette, who's thrown back the other way. Robert Bailey with the stop. And now the clock is activated. We're down to 20 seconds, and the Jets headed to a record of 0-3 with the Giants coming up next week at the Meadowlands. That's actually a Jet home game. And that will stop the clock. O'Donnell going incomplete. Next week on Monday night in Indianapolis, the Dolphins will face the Colts, then an open date, followed by a home game against Seattle. And Jimmy Johnson surprising a lot of folks around the NFL by getting off to the 3-0 start. Miami again doing a nice job on the ground. The combination of Abdul-Jabbar and Spikes, 40 rushes, 195 yards, 160 yards on the ground in the second half, and a solid day celebrating his 35th birthday for Dan Marino. Here's O'Donnell firing for the end zone. Again, the jump ball effect, and this time it's picked off by the Dolphins. Sean Hill able to come up with it as time has run out. Miami Dolphins with a 36-27 victory over the New York Jets. Stay tuned for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Marv Albert, Sam Weiss saying so long from Miami.